Hi, it's Jodie and welcome to another video. So today I have my April TBR video for you. Now the reason I do this is because I am kind of struggling this year with TBRs. Like, I'm finding it difficult to kind of stick to them, and I'm actually finding them a little bit unmotivating. So I've decided this month I'm going to switch it up and I'm just going to read whatever I feel like reading once I've got through some of the books that I need to. So this month I do have like a sort of TBR, but they're not necessarily the books I'm definitely planning to pick up. These are just some books that I'm kind of interested in reading at the moment, but of course that will change throughout the month. So yeah, this isn't like a solid TBR. This is more of a like books I kind of want to read in April but don't know if I will, and I'm definitely not forcing myself to, if that makes sense. So I will be probably doing like a 24-hour readathon during April at some point with Kat and Kay again, so probably not going to read the stuff that's on this TBR for that. So again, things like that, there'll be other books I will pick up, but you will see in vlogs and stuff. So if you'd like to see all of the books that are on this month's TBR, then please keep watching, but let's just get straight into the video. So I'm not going to go in any like particular order. I'm literally just going to grab a book from the stack I've got here next to me and go with it. But I will quickly just talk about two books that I do plan to read in April for sure, but are like a continuation from last month. So I do have two books here that I am currently reading and definitely plan to finish in April, so I will quickly mention them. So I have The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. So this actually comes out in April, which is why I want to finish it soon. I'm currently on page 166, so almost halfway, so hoping to finish this very soon. This is a fantasy with a little bit of romance. It's pitched as being really good for Sarah J Maas fans. I'm really enjoying it so far. Like, it's a really interesting, and basically our main character ends up having to do these trials in place of the rebel queen. It's not really a spoiler, that's kind of in the synopsis. And yeah, so she has to do these trials, and there is maybe a little bit of romance in there. There's like this whole kind of thing going on with like the kingdom, and she's in a prison and she's looking after this rebel queen who's like really poorly. So yeah, there's obviously like unrest and stuff to do with the rebellion. There's also royals in here, and yeah, there's just a lot of fun things going on, and we're finding more and more out about the main character's past, and I feel like there's something going to be revealed soon that's going to be really interesting. I'm not doing this book justice, but I've spoken about it before. I would definitely recommend this based on what I've read so far. So if you like Sarah J Maas and if you like a lot of the books that I recommend or see on my channel, then maybe have a look at this one, because yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. The writing's really easy to read as well, so yeah, I will be reading this in April also. Then I'm currently reading A Court of Silver Flames. I am reading this as a buddy read, but I am miles behind, and by the time this video goes up, one of the other people I was reading this with probably will have finished by then, so yay. I am a slow reader, so it takes me a while, but I was buddy reading this with Chloe from Books with Chloe and Caitlin from Kate Literature, and they were reading it for their 24-hour readathon. I wasn't doing the 24-hour readathon, so I was never going to read as much, but they flew through it so fast. And because I've recently got Tilly, who for those of you who don't know is my new pug puppy, I literally haven't had any time to read. So yeah, I didn't really plan to like fly through it anyways. I have decided now as well that rather than try and quickly read it to try and possibly catch up with Chloe, because Caitlin's already finished her reread, I will just take it slow. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know, I might read this throughout April, I might finish it super quick, I honestly don't know. I'm trying not to fly through it, because here's the thing, a lot of people are saying this is better than Akamath, and it's the new Akamath, like it's their new fave. Now I don't think that will be the case for me, because I just don't think you can top Reese and Feyre. Like, I'm already loving Cassian and Nesta, but I love Akamath so much, it holds a special place in my heart. I read it at a very specific time in my life, which also is another reason why I love it so much. So yeah, I don't think Sarah J Maas is going to be able to top Akamath for me, but who knows, I'm not even halfway through yet, so maybe. But anyway, back to my point, I would do anything to reread Akamath again for the first time. I would sell my soul, I would do anything, and that experience I will never get back, and I don't want to fly through this because of that. I want to go through this as slowly as I can and savour every single second of this book, because it's probably going to become a favourite, if not the favourite, and I want to just take my time with it. I want to really enjoy it. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to do any of that. So yeah, Still gonna be fun to like obviously talk to Chloe and Caitlin about it like as I'm reading it, because they will have already read it so they know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like I said, not rushing it, and I'm really loving this, like obviously, and I've already tabbed a lot of it. So I'm on page 217 at the moment, so I obviously will finish this in April, I just don't know when. But I just wanted to mention this and the Prison Healer because they are going to be my reads at the beginning of April. So now into the like stack of books I actually have here. So the first one in the pile is The Final Girls by Riley Seeger. So I've had this for, well, since it first came out, which who knows when that was. Like I feel like at least 3 years this book's been out for. Oh my god, this came out in 2017 apparently. Wow. Yeah, I got this for Christmas, like when it first came out. Oh my god, the bookmarks are still in here from when I got it, and I have just not gotten to it, and it is on my 21 books to read in 2021 list. So I haven't read any books on that list yet, and we're 4 months into the year now, so I need to make a start. And yeah, like I said, this is one of them. This is a slasher thriller kind of story. It says first there were 3, then there were 2. Can there only ever be one final girl? So in this I think we follow Quincy Carpenter, and 10 years ago she went on vacation with a bunch of friends, and she was the only one who returned from that vacation. And it says that she was the only survivor of a horror movie scale massacre, and then in an instant she became a member of this club that nobody wants to be part of, which is the Final Girls. So obviously these are all people who were the final like survivors, the final victims who survived of like some kind of massacre or something. And then in this we follow Lisa, who lost 9 sorority sisters to a college dropout's knife, Sam, who went up against the sackman during her shift at the Nightlight Inn, and now Quincy, who ran bleeding through the woods to escape Pine Cottage, and the man she refers to only as him. And it says obviously like the 3 girls are trying to like get over their trauma and get over their nightmares about these events, and they're trying to kind of support each other to do this. And none of these girls have actually ever met each other either, and like there's like a lot of pressure from the media for them to like meet up and everything. And also in the synopsis it does say her memory won't even allow her to recall the events of that night. The past is the past. So that's really interesting. It will be really fun when reading this to like kind of slowly find out what exactly went down. And then it says that is until Lisa, the first final girl, is found dead in her bathtub, wrists slit, and Sam the second appears on Quincy's doorstep. So it looks like these 2 other final girls get murdered. She's the last one, and it's going to be like a who done it, why is this happening kind of story. So yeah, I love the sound of this. It sounds so good, and like I said, I've wanted to read this for a few years now, so I really do hope that I get to it in April, and it should be quite a fun read. And I really love this cover as well. So then next we have one that I cannot wait to read, which is Horrid by Katarina Leno. So I really can't wait to read this. It's just one I've been eyeing up for a long time. So yes, this is the Owl Crate dust jacket, but I put like the inside outside and it looks like this. It looks so cool, and I'm absolutely obsessed with this. But I have the standard hardcover here as well. So yeah, this sounds absolutely amazing, and I really want to read some more kind of like sort of like horror-ish kind of vibey YA-ish kind of books. Like that's what I'm in the mood for, and Horrid has just been one that I've been meaning to get to for a while, and it just sounds so cool. Like it sounds so unique, and I'm here for it. And in this we follow a character called Jane, and she has recently lost her father, and her and her mother moved from like a sunny California to a dilapidated old house in Maine where Ruth grew up. So yeah, they're moving to where her mum is originally from, I think to just kind of like get away from California because they associate maybe her father's death there. Obviously they're coping with like a lot of grief and things like that, and just going through it. And then it says, but behind North Manor's doors lies a history that leaves them feeling more alone and more tortured. As the cold New England autumn arrives and Jane settles into her new home, she finds solace in old books and memories of her dad. She steadily begins making friends, and Jane also faces bullying from the resident bad seed and struggles to tamp down her own worst nature in response. Ruth seems to be spiraling with a return to her childhood home, but she won't reveal why. Then Jane discovers the storage room Ruth has kept locked isn't for storage at all. It's a little girl's bedroom, left untouched for years and not quite as empty of inhabitants as it appears. I hope that means there's a ghost. Please let there be a ghost. But yeah, I just think that this book just sounds so good. I cannot wait to read this. It sounds so creepy and eerie and like very mysterious, which I'm in the mood for. I love a mysterious book, which is why I love thrillers so much, because you are turning the page to find out more, and like you want to know what the hell's like going on, what happened. So I feel like this is going to be a really fun, and yeah, I just can't wait to pick this up, hopefully in April, but we shall see. Then next we have a kind of dark academia vibey book, which is The Furies by Katie Lowe. So I just know that this has like witchcraft and murder and stuff in, and I'm here for that. Like, yes please. On the back it even says obsession, witchcraft and murder. So I believe this follows like a group of girls, and it's kind of like cultish behaviour. And it just says 1998, a 16-year-old girl is found dead on school property, dressed in white and posed on a swing, no known cause of death. 4 girls know what happened, they kept their silence until now. And I just know that somehow in here we've got like witchcraft, we've got like teenage friendships and all those kind of dynamics, and just like a lot of different things going on. And obviously this has the kind of vibes of a thriller, like someone's been murdered and these girls know how, so I guess we're going to be following them and trying to piece together what happened to this person who's been murdered. Did they do it? What was responsible? Was witchcraft involved? All those kinds of things. I love books that have like a lot of questions and you have to like keep turning the page to find out the answer. Like, I love that. It makes me really invested. So yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this book. Hopefully I do get to it in April. It's just got witchcraft in it, which is the main reason I want to read it. I forgot to take the sale sticker off. Okay, so next we actually do have one that was on my TBR for March, but I just didn't get around to reading it. But that was A Dark and Hollow Start by Ashley Shuttleworth. So this is a urban fantasy. It is also sapphic. We have like 4 queens in here and different stuff. There's a bit of war and all different kind of things going on here, and immortal realms and whatnot. I'm not going to go into the synopsis for this because I did already talk about it in my Lumicrate unboxing last month and in that TBR and also in a book haul, I think, so I don't want to repeat myself like a 4th time. But yeah, it is an urban fantasy. I believe a lot of people have been talking about this recently, so a lot of you are probably familiar with it, but it just sounds really good. And the reason that this is on my TBR in April is because me and Kat were supposed to buddy read it in March, but our TBRs just got the best of us and it didn't happen. So hopefully in April we'll finally start our buddy read, and I'm really excited to read this with her and just see what this book is all about. And yeah, then next we just have a super random one. Now this is one of those ones, like I said before, I don't know if I will read this. I will have to be in a specific mood. I'm trying to squeeze in more like thrillers and romance. They are 2 genres I just absolutely adore. Like, they're my favorite things in a book. Like, I love my fantasy, and I love a fantasy story that has romance in it and also kind of like a murder mystery thriller trope. So because I love both of those things so much in my fantasy, I figured I would absolutely adore the actual genres, and I just don't tend to dip into them enough. So one of my reading resolutions for this year was to read more thrillers and romance. Haven't been successful at it so far, so yes. But this is like a YA romance, I think, and I recently got this. I pre-ordered it, so I figured I'd just add it to this pile. Maybe I'll pick it up in April, maybe I'll pick a different romance up. So that is Hot British Boyfriend by Christy Boyce. I love this cover, I think it's so cute. So this is like a YA contemporary romance, and in this book we follow Ellie. Now Ellie has just received a very humiliating public rejection, so she decides to join her school's study abroad program in England, and she leaps at the chance to get out of there, go to England and try and forget about the embarrassment of her rejection. And it says on the blurb that like while most of her like peers are there to kind of like, you know, study and do well and everything, she's just there to try and rebuild her reputation and try and build her self-confidence back up as well. And it says, and nothing is more of a confidence booster than getting a hot British boyfriend. So her main priority here is to meet someone while she's there, and that will kind of mask over the rejection. It will help her feel better, and yeah, that's what she's mostly focused on. So she makes a pact with this guy called Dev, who's like an overachieving classmate and she's never clicked with, and he is going to help her to get her crush basically, which is a guy called Will, and he's a Brit. So she teams up with Dev to try and win Will's heart, and she doesn't want to go through what she did the last time. She doesn't want to get rejected again, she doesn't want to make the same mistakes. And yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion that Will ain't going to be the one for her, but maybe Dev will be, and I love that kind of trope. So yeah, I think it's not necessarily fake dating, but it has that kind of vibe to it. So I'm really intrigued by this one, and I just feel like a nice little like YA cheesy romance will be perfect for me, and maybe something I'll fly through. So I'm adding this to my kind of I want to read next pile, but we shall see if I do actually pick it up. Then next we have I Am Not Your Final Girl by Claire C. Holland. So I was kindly gifted this by Jodie. Weird saying my name. And this is just all like poems and stuff like that, and it is actually based off like a lot of horror movies, which I'm obsessed with that. So like we have a poem that's linked to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Carrie, Halloween, Jaws, The Ring, The Craft, like all those good things. So yeah, this is just all revenge kind of poetry and like horror kind of poetry, and I cannot wait to read this. I know I'm gonna love this. I'm so excited. I might pick this up when I do a 24-hour readathon because it's really short, but yes, I cannot wait for this, and I love this cover with my whole heart. Such a vibe. Really excited for this one. Oh, and poetry was on my reading goals list, so that kind of ticks that thing. Then we have Tokyo Ghoul Volume 5. So I'm really enjoying the manga series so far. I recently read Volume 4 and it's my favourite one I've read so far, so I can't wait to continue on with the manga. I do also plan to read Volumes 6 and 7 as well, but Volume 5 is the one that's definite for April. I don't know if I will have time to get to 6 and 7 because I'm going back to work in April. But yes, I really can't wait to continue with this series. In this, we follow a specific character who has become half ghoul, half human, and he's kind of navigating both worlds. And there's also kind of like a behind the scenes war going on between the doves, who are humans who hunt ghouls, and then the ghouls. And yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. It's just such a fun series. Like, I really enjoy it. I love the kind of art style in here as well. Like, I love this. This is just amazing. And yeah, like I said, I'm just really enjoying the story. I can't wait to continue with it. So Volume 5 is definitely on my TBR. Then next we have A Proof. Now I don't know if I'll definitely get to this in April, but I would hope to. This doesn't come out till June, so I do have plenty of time to read it, but I'm desperate to read this book. But that is Hannah Witton's For the Wolf. So this is a fantasy. It says the first daughter is for the throne, the second daughter is for the wolf, and it just sounds amazing. Like, I honestly can't wait. There's like this cool little like letter here as well inside the proof, which says the second daughter enters her 20th year, and thus our teeth to the wolf in the Wilder Wood comes due. As one of the honoured faithful, your presence is welcomed as we revel in the days of preceding the sacrifice. The doors for the shrine will be open to your priestesses and seasonal teeths accepted, as our prayers are sure to be most potent. May the wolf find our teeth acceptable. May our kings return. Your servant, Sophia, High Priestess of the Validon Temple. So I'm so intrigued by this. It just sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Like, basically, like, I think there's like a sacrifice to the wolf and there's some like missing kings, and I'm interested to see if the wolf is actually like some kind of person or being. I don't know a lot about the plot. I've just kind of read up on some of the like tropey stuff that's in here and loosely what it's about, and I want to keep it that way. I feel like with my anticipated reads, especially books like this, I like to go in knowing the basics but not everything, and I do that with all Sarah J Maas books that come out as well. I never try to read too much into the plot, and because this has that kind of a fantasy vibe that I know I like and tropes that I like, I don't want to go in knowing a lot about the plot because I feel like I'll start to suss things out too quickly. So yeah, I can't wait to read this. I just think it sounds amazing. I'm obsessed with the proof cover as well, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading this very soon, hopefully in April, but maybe June. But this is definitely in my like want to pick up very soon pile, so hopefully you'll be seeing me reading this soon. And as soon as I do read this, I will definitely be leaving a review for it, and I will also talk about it in like a reading vlog or something, so yeah, look out for that. But I would recommend going to check this out because I think it's going to be a very popular book when this comes out, for sure. Then next we have a graphic novel, which is Mooncakes, and my friend Kay got me this for my birthday, and this is supposed to be a really cute wholesome graphic novel. It's perfect for fans of Heartstopper apparently, which is the main reason I really wanted to read it. It looks really cute, and I love my graphic novels. I love my cute little romancy ones. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I actually don't know a lot about it. I just know that there's some kind of like wolf and a witch, and I think a romance between them, which sounds really cute. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this. Then we have a manga by Junji Ito, which is Smashed, another one I was kindly gifted for my birthday, and I really want to read this. Like I've said in a few videos now, I want to slowly make my way through Junji Ito's work, and I'm starting with his smaller kind of books. So I do have Tomi and I have Uzumaki, but I've not started either of those yet because they're quite big. I might pick up Tomi, but I don't know. I'm going to see how busy I am throughout the month. Maybe I'll pick it up, maybe I won't. But this one is the one I think I will reach for first, just because it's the shorter of the three. I'm really intrigued by this one. it says 13 chilling nightmares presented by the master of horror. So I don't know if this is maybe like 13 different stories, which I kind of hope is the case because I like that about Venus in the Blind Spot. But yeah, either way, I'm still excited to read this and just see what happens in it. I don't really know a lot of what this is about, except that it's probably going to be very weird again, and I can't wait for it. So this next book I am extremely excited about because this is actually the Patreon pick for our monthly buddy read. So I will be reading this book along with my patrons, and I will be doing a spoiler filled reading vlog for this, which will also go up on Patreon. Can't wait to read this. It's going to be so fun to read and discuss this book, and I cannot wait. Like, this sounds so good, and it's witchy, so you all know I'm gonna love it. So that is The Ravens, and this is by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. And one, just look at this cover. Look at this cover. Obsessed. And this just sounds absolutely amazing. Look at the back. Only their sisterhood can save them. This just sounds so cool. So we follow the sisters of Caparonu, who are like a sisterhood, who are called the Ravens. But these girls in this sorority aren't your average girls. They are called the Ravens, and they are actually witches, and I just love that. Like, I love anything about witches, as you guys know. So a sorority that's kind of like a culty kind of vibe, and are witches. Need I say more? And I think the person we follow most in here is Scarlet Winter, and she is always known that she's a witch. Her mum and her family have been witches, and they've all been presidents of the Ravens, so she wants to follow in their footsteps and also become the president of the Ravens. But if this like really painful dark secret she has from her past comes to light, then it's probably going to get in her way from becoming the president and kind of ruining the line of like succession in her family. And then we also follow Vivi, and she has absolutely no idea that she's a witch, and then she gets this pledge to join the Ravens, and she vows to do whatever it takes to be part of the sisterhood. It says the only thing that is standing in her way is Scarlet, who doesn't think Vivi is Raven material. But when a wicked power rises on campus, the girls have to put their rivalry aside to save their fellow sisters. Someone has discovered the Raven's secret, and that someone will do anything to see these witches burn. So this sounds like we have a witch hunter as well in here, and yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens in here. I kind of like the idea of like sisterhood, witchcraft, someone with like a vendetta against them. It sounds amazing, and yeah, I'm here for it. Can't wait. So if you would like to join us on our buddy read, I will have my Patreon link down below. So we are starting this in April. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. And then another book that I do plan to pick up in April, which will be on audio, is Mexican Gothic, and this is by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and you've all probably heard about this. I spoke about this in my birthday book haul, so you can head to that video as well if you want to know more about it. But this is kind of a gothic literature, dark, sort of thrillery kind of vibe to it, bit of horror as well. Basically a gothic fantasy set in Mexico, and I'm so excited to read this. I can't wait. It's set in the 1950s. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I'm really intrigued to see what the audio will be like for this. So hopefully this will be my audiobook for April, and I will get to it. I don't really know much else about it. I want to go into this very unaware of the plot and just be surprised by the weirdness of it, and I'm really excited about that. And then the last book in here is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Do I need to even go into what this is about? If this isn't like one of the most popular books on BookTube, then I don't know what is. So don't hold me to this. I might not, in all honesty. I downloaded the audiobook a while ago for this, and I did start listening to it very briefly while I was getting ready one day. So I listened to a couple of chapters, and I was intrigued by it. I didn't hate it, so that's a start. For those of you who are new here, I'm not the biggest fan of Leigh Bardugo, but that being said, I have only read the first two books in the Shadow of Bone trilogy, and I really did not like them at all. I found them so boring, and the characters were just horrendous, and it's just not for me. So I was really worried about Six of Crows because I know that it's still in the Grishaverse and it's Leigh Bardugo, but a lot of people promised me the writing is very different. I haven't read enough of it to properly tell, but the vibes are a lot better so far, so I might continue with the audiobook in April, and yeah, we shall see. Yeah, I'm nervous about this one because I know so many people love this. I don't really like heists, so, and multiple character perspectives, and that's kind of what this book is. So we shall see. I might be pleasantly surprised. I hope that's the case. I feel like the audio is definitely going to help me to read this, just because I don't really like her writing style. So we shall see, but this is on my TBR. I know a lot of you will be happy about that. Yeah, maybe I will read it in April. Hopefully I will, and hopefully I will like it, but who knows. So that is all of the books that are kind of on my TBR slash what I'm hoping to read next. Like I said, this will change throughout the month, but yeah, a few of them I will definitely be reading. I'm definitely most excited to finish A Cut of Silver Flames, to read The Ravens of my patrons, and just for some of these other ones I'm just excited to get into. So hopefully I can have a really good reading month in April. I am returning to work, so I don't know how much that's going to get in the way of me reading. We shall see. Hopefully I'm not too busy in April and I can probably fly through a lot of these, but let's be optimistic. Let's hope that's the case. Yeah, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a big thumbs up. Leave a black heart emoji in the comments if you did make it to this point, and please also let me know what you're going to be reading in April. What are your reading plans? Have you read any of these books? If you have, let me know if you like them or not. Keep it spoiler free as always, but I'd be really interested to chat to some of you about these books and your thoughts on them, and also interested to see what's on your TBR. I love knowing what's on the people's TBRs because I'm really nosy. But yeah, I hope that you did enjoy this. I hope that you're all safe and well. I will have all of these books linked in the description box, along with my Patreon, all of my social media, and some other important links that you guys should go and check out. But yes, I hope that you all have a very, very good reading month in April. I hope you're currently reading a really good book, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!